Donald Trump will be the 11th president over 57 years seeking to bring a solution to the so-called Israeli-Arab conflict. Will he finally do what no other has even dreamed to do? Will he support Israel to begin deporting illegals and terrorists? Will he declare support for Israeli sovereignty over Israel's ancient homeland? And lastly, will he be the answer to millennia of Jewish prayer and begin the building of the third and most glorious Jewish temple on the war-torn and disputed Temple Mount? I'm Joshua. We're talking about it all right now, right here at the Israel Guys. Welcome back to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of anti-Israel propaganda and Jew hatred, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Now, before you guys think that I'm completely off my rocker on this topic, let's talk a little bit historically. Now, you're really going to think I'm off of this one, but listen, historically, we have the first temple was Solomon's temple. We're talking about the temple in Jerusalem. That was Solomon's temple, the first temple. We have Herod's temple was the second temple. Who was Herod? I mean, just, he wasn't he's just a king, was here, wasn't 100% Jewish, built a temple. Well, I don't see why there's a reason why not? Why can't we have the Trump temple? I don't know. I'm not a rabbi or anything like that, but that could work. Why not? We have the Trump Tower. Let's have the Trump Temple. We're going to talk more about this, and you really think I'm nuts, and that sounds really facetious and all, but maybe, just maybe, that actually could happen. Listen to this clip right here with the next Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. He actually mentioned something about this. Let's watch this clip right now.
But we are here in Jerusalem, and today Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the Western Wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital, was a miracle. And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen. That's all I know. And a step in that process, a step in every process, is the recognition that facts and activities on the ground truly matter. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, and Israeli cities, locations, is a critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel.
Okay, that's pretty phenomenal. He literally says there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I think he's digging down to something that's incredibly important, and maybe, just maybe, this is the thing that every president before incoming President Donald Trump has missed, and that is that the temple actually plays a critical role in the peace of the Middle East. Everyone else is not saying this. Just maybe, the incoming administration will pick up on the truth, some Bible truth about this situation. Now, let's play it up a little bit of what we're looking at in Israel and how we could literally see the build up to such a thing. Right now, Israel has seen 76 years of war, and it's kind of become accepted that terrorism and all of these harsh war realities in Israel have just become a way of life here. Maybe there's a way that this administration could partner with Israel, the Jewish state. We should recognize this is a Jewish state. Everyone that likes to say that Israel has to accept the fact that these enemies are just a part of their country and they can't do anything about it. People that are sworn terrorists what do they do? Well, no, Israel does not have to accept that. And it's when Israel does something about it, it's not called apartheid and ethnic cleansing. That's literally dealing with war, sworn enemies of your nation. You have the right to And it's not apartheid and ethnic cleansing again. This is war, and you have every right to defend your citizens of the country, of the one and only Jewish state on the planet. That's number one. Terrorists are just terrorists. They should be rid from this country. This is a beautiful country. They should have no right to be here. They have no right to be here. Terrorism has no right to exist anywhere in the world, especially here in this beautiful land of Israel. Now, on this note, this is building up to the scenario that will end with the potential of literally building the temple. 80% of the Arabs here in Judea and Samaria, in the Gaza, all support. 80% of them support their radical leaders and the goals of eradicating Jewish presence from this nation. And the end goal would be that of Hitler, which would be complete eradication of all Jews. That kind of ideology cannot be present here. On that basis, I believe the incoming administration may do something that no other administration has done, recognizing what I've just laid out to you, that it's unacceptable. And it's not, like I said, apartheid and ethnic cleansing to deal with this issue. Although every media news network on the planet will tell you it is, it's not. Israel has every right to rid the country of these beasts that are set on destroying them. Let's say the administration does the common sense thing and starts, and I'll lay out a plan for you here. They start by partnering with Israel to obliterate terrorism from the land. Number one, they deal with it. They not only deal with it in Gaza and in Lebanon, but also deal with it right here in Judea and Samaria where I'm sitting now. They begin, after they finish this work of clearing from town to town to town, all the terror infrastructure in this entire region of Gaza, Judea and Samaria, southern Lebanon, finish it, clear it, rid this area of these terror, of the terror infrastructure that has been embedded here. After they finish ridding this place of the terrorism with support of America, to do so, they begin maybe what Trump's maybe most known for, the deportation process. They deport all of those that support terrorism and are backing it. Maybe it's alongside ridding the war of actually fighting the front line of the war. They're also sending them out. If you're a terrorist supporter, you do not belong in this country. It's just not a place for you. They begin to rid the 80% of the people that either are terrorists or support the terrorists. They begin to throw them out of this country. Illegals and squatters. Literally, there's hundreds of thousands of illegals and squatters in Israel. Maybe you thought that only existed in America. Nope, it also exists here in Israel. Hundreds and thousands of illegals that need to be deported from this country. In my just personal opinion, I think that would be a great start. And literally, this exists from the Golan Heights all the way down to the Beersheba, and the deserts of that area are loaded with illegals that are joined with the goal of eradicating Jewish presence from this land. That cannot be tolerated, and it must be dealt with. Hey guys, we'll be right back. But first, I've got a question for you. Did you know that you can diversify your investments while supporting Israel? Israel is under attack by its enemies, and other nations are attempting to weaken her. So let me share with you a significant way you can strengthen Israel through investing. My family and I have been clients of the licensed investment firm Wise Money Israel for years. They are both friends and financial sponsors, and they manage Israeli stock and bond accounts for people around the world. You not only bless Israel by investing here, but you can make a profit along the way. As Israel battles to hold on to their land, you support her by backing successful companies that power the economy and sustain the Jewish people. Wise Money Israel's professionals wisely invest your funds in the local market. Did you know that the Israeli economy is one of the most resilient and innovative in the world? You can help at this critical time to restore Israel to the blessing God promised her. God promised that those who bless Israel will also be blessed. Be a part of what He is doing in our days to make Israel prosperous and a praise in the earth. Align your finances with your faith, diversify your investments and currency, and partner with a firm of Israelis who share your values. For more information, see the description below. Don't bury your treasure, invest in Israel. Visit wisemoneyisrael.com/theisraelguys and sign up for a free consultation today. That's wisemoneyisrael.com/theisraelguys. This process would leave Israel with literally a very minuscule number compared to what was before, the so-called 3 to 4 million Arabs that are living in Israel. Let's say that brings this number down to somewhere around 1 million Arabs that would then, these that are left would be people that are pro-Israel. They support Israel. They would even swear allegiance to this country. You know, ladies and gentlemen, there's people in the Knesset in Israel that refuse to swear allegiance to the nation of Israel. Now, that is absolutely bonkers to me, that you could literally have enemies supporting people like the Muslim Brotherhood and terrorism that are literally representing their people in the Knesset in Israel. That must stop. That has to end. It cannot be continued. So there's, say, 1 million or so Arabs that are brought into Israel with as residents of this country, and they will be so grateful for that. They'll be saved the horrible existence in places that they would have come from that are also terror-rid and infested with all kind of violence. These people are grateful that they can be here, and those are the people that Israel accepts wholeheartedly. Just like America and lots of other Western nations support good, upright, upstanding citizens, and that's who you want in your country. It's just a common sense move. After this, after they finish these processes, they should move to 100%, starting with Judea and Samaria and Gaza, and even likely parts of southern Lebanon should be declared sovereign Israeli territory. That's just a no-brainer. There's 500,000 Jews living now in Judea and Samaria that have no right. They don't have citizen right in their own ancient homeland. Guys, this is insane. It's got to stop. Israelis living back in their ancient homeland like Shiloh and Hebron and Bethel and Shechem, all these places, all these biblical places, even Jerusalem. The Jews that live there don't have rights as citizens because it's not been declared sovereign territory of Israel. This must change. And I believe that this likely will change, indeed. The incoming administration can support Israel to declare this sovereignty, and it can change the situation here drastically. Now, there's one last step to achieving Israel's former greatness, and when I say former greatness, I'm speaking of the greatness that we see historically in biblical text. Israel was an amazing empire here, and they are just around the corner from becoming exactly that again. Anyone that doesn't see that already is blind. You have to understand that Israel's becoming a major empire here in this area. They're rising again, and this is amazing. Now, the thing that's left in this critical component as Israel really begins to grow into what they once were before, again, which is miraculous, they're missing one piece. And this is the piece that most of you really think, again, I'm crazy for even talking about this, but it will happen. And maybe, just maybe, the incoming President Donald J. Trump could be the one to bring this into being. Like I said, he loves to build things. He loves to see, he loves Israel. He loves to see the nation of Israel strong and grow. And it could just be that if he really understands the Middle Eastern way, that he would support the Jewish people and maybe even support financially the wealth of the nations coming in to help and restore Israel. That's a dream of only the prophets could foresee. And they did foresee it. And maybe now is that time where this could happen. Will he back Israel, not only in these other areas of gaining and ridding the terrorist infrastructure and declaring sovereignty, and then the final on the Temple Mount, restoring that place to what it once was as a holy place for all nations, an inclusive place for all nations to come and worship God. Now, as it currently stands, I personally have been thrown off and spit and mocked by the Arab Waqf that has been there. I think that that's a bad thing to continue. I think that that should stop immediately, and the best way to stop that would be exactly what I've just said, that Trump, the administration, should back Israel to do the incredible, and that would be to begin the process of restoring Jewish rights on the Temple Mount, which would open it to be an accepted place for all people of every kind to come and worship there on that beautiful, most important, and probably, I mean, there's no other real estate on the planet that compares to it. That's why I think, just maybe, that the incoming president may just maybe take this and run with it. Who knows? Now, I'll just say one other thing. You guys, the world will come unglued about something like this if it even ever came to be. They would say, just like they told Trump when he moved the embassy to Jerusalem and declared that Jerusalem was the eternal capital, is the eternal capital of Israel. When he said that, everyone said, no, there's going to be war. There's going to be violence in the streets. What are you doing? You can't do that. Da, 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 da. No, nothing happened anywhere close to that. When President Trump made that move, there was silence in the street. Israel experienced peace that they hadn't experienced in years previous. It was completely quiet. And that's exactly the same thing that would happen even on a grander scale if, indeed, the United States was to support Israel and Jewish rights on the very most important place in Israel, and that is the very top of that mountain in Jerusalem, the Temple Mount. Okay, folks, I know this is wild, but this is a time to be thinking about wild things and what could actually happen, and I think that we're just literally at that moment. Guys, in conclusion, continue to pray for Israel, and maybe even join Israel in a Jewish prayer that the temple, the Holy Temple, would be rebuilt, and as they would say, may it also be soon and in our days. That's a prayer that the Jewish people have prayed literally for millennia. Will we see it happen now in our generation? I really hope so. And I think that just maybe America could be a nation to partner with Israel in one of the most grandest, most amazing ways that we ever have before. We literally could see this happen. Guys, as always, tune out the fake news and tune into what's actually happening here in the heartland of Israel.